Look up. For this writing challenge, you're encouraged to get away from your screen and look at the world around you. In particular, what you see when you look up. You might look towards nature, or you might look at something man-made. It might be something familiar or something new. It could even be that you find a different perspective on something you know well. Whatever you find, the challenge will then be to compose a piece of descriptive writing which will really help us to see what you see when you look up. Before you put pen to paper, it is essential that you spend some time looking, listening and recording what you see. This can be in a number of ways. You can take pictures, record videos, make or record notes, or any combination of these things. What is important is that you spend some time on this stage and choose somewhere or something which interests you and provokes thought. Here is an example of how you might structure your notes, paying attention not only to the general scene but focusing or zooming in on close details. Once you have done this, you are ready to write. This video gives 3 different lessons with guidance and a model answer for lower primary, upper primary and lower secondary. There is also a challenge which means that this can even test a grown-up. If you're uncertain or unsure of what section to watch, then you should watch them all and decide which seems the best fit for what you, or if you're a parent, your child, understand and will benefit from. All 3 lessons are linked to the national curriculum and follow the writing sequence which is commonly used in primary and secondary schools. This section is aimed at lower age primary school children and is referred against the national curriculum programmes of study for years 3 and 4. The focus is on planning for writing and then using clear paragraphs which are built around a theme. The word level focus is on adjectives. The example given is the same as is used for all 3 lessons. It is the opening to a novel which creates a picture of the setting in the reader's mind. The writer's use of adjectives is highlighted here to show how they add detail and help the reader to visualise. The model answer here has 3 clear paragraphs. Paragraph 1 sets the scene by telling us where, when and what. Paragraph 2 then gives a visual description, a picture, of the subject. Paragraph 3 then zooms in on key details. As you can see, care has been taken to use plenty of adjective detail in the writing. If you're composing this with your child, you should discuss the content of each paragraph, using any notes and pictures that you've taken to help prompt their memory and give them ideas about what to include. This section is aimed at upper age primary school children and is referred against the national curriculum programmes of study for years 5 and year 6. The focus is on choosing vocabulary to match with a purpose, in this case trying to create a mood or impression of the place or the subject of the description. The example given is the same as for all 3 lessons. It is the opening to a novel which creates a picture of the setting. The annotations here explore the writer's use of language to create an impression of the place. His choice of words creates an overall impression of a somewhat small, peaceful and undisturbed location. The model answer aims to create 2 impressions for the reader, namely, that winter is cold and lifeless. It does this through the use of words such as bitterly, heavily and the empty, abandoned bird's nest. It also aims to present the tree as solid and undisturbed, through words such as ancient, mighty and protective. You may find it useful to use a thesaurus when writing this. However, take care to check the meaning of any words that you are given, as they often have subtly different meanings. If you are writing this with your child, you should discuss the impression you're trying to create of what is being described and what words might help to do this. With this kind of writing, it is often useful to write at least one draft which may have corrections, additions and crossings out. Separating any final or presentation task enables a young writer to focus on the content and can help reduce concerns or anxieties about presentation. This section is aimed at secondary school children and is referred against the national curriculum programmes of study for years 7 through to 9. The focus is on structuring and choosing language with a purpose, in this case trying to create a mood or an impression of what is being described. This is similar to the upper primary task, however a greater degree of sophistication is expected. This is reflected in the focus on the use of subordinate clauses to add detail and develop the moods or impressions. The example given is the same as for all 3 lessons. It is the opening to a novel which creates a picture of the setting. The annotations in this case point out just how much detail has been packed into one grammatically correct sentence, using subordinate clauses to add and extend detail. The model answer aims to create 2 impressions for the reader, namely, that winter is a cold and lifeless time. It does this through the use of words such as bitterly, heavily, and the empty, abandoned, lifeless bird's nest. It also aims to present the tree as something remaining solid and undisturbed. It does this through adjective use and subordinate clauses such as anchored to the earth. You may find it useful to use a thesaurus when writing this. However, take care to check the meaning of any words that you're given, as they often have subtly different meanings. You should draft this piece of writing at least twice. Many prefer to handwrite a first draft, leaving a space between each line so that they can add to or change sentences. For some of you, this might also be healthy time away from a screen and practice for when you return to handwriting on a daily basis. The challenge activities are aimed at providing a more advanced task which prompts you to use a wider range of skills. For further information and copies of presentations and resources, you can go to the following places. Thank you for watching and enjoy the challenge.